All right, so get this, everybody. Today, we are diving deep, deep into the world of AI.
Sounds exciting.
It is. And we're not just talking about like the cool tech, the gadgets and gizmos, but we're really going all the way back to explore how our very idea of intelligence has, well, it's shifted right along with the technology.
Oh, absolutely.
So think about it. From like this wild thought experiment way back in the 1940s
Yeah.
to get this AI that can practically like write poetry today.
I know. It's mind-blowing.
Let's buckle up because it's going to be a wild ride.
It really is. And what's so fascinating to me is how much of this journey, this whole evolution of AI, can be traced back to this single brilliant mind, Alan Turing.
Okay, yes. Turing, the legend, absolutely. Yeah. But for those of us who might need a little refresher, what exactly did he do that was so groundbreaking, so important for AI?
Okay, so picture this. It's the 1940s, right?
Yeah.
Computers, they're basically these like giant calculators.
Yeah.
And then Turing comes along and he introduces this revolutionary idea, the Turing machine.
The Turing machine.
It's not like a physical machine, though. It's more like this blueprint, this concept for a machine that could simulate any computer algorithm.
Really? Any algorithm? Well, so he was basically like laying the foundation for, everything we do on computers today, right? That's crazy foresight.
Exactly. He saw the potential for one machine with the right instructions to handle everything, from basic calculations to these complex tasks that, honestly, at that time, nobody had even thought of.
Yeah. So Turing kind of plants this seed, this vision of like thinking machines. But when does AI like officially enter the scene? When does it get its big debut?
All right. So fast forward now to 1956, the Dartmouth Conference. Picture a room. It's buzzing with all these brilliant minds.
Ooh, I love that image.
Right. They're all excited, so much energy about the future of thinking machines.
I bet.
It was a true turning point for the field.
I can imagine. And this was like just after World War II, right?
Exactly.
A time of just like huge GE leaps in technology. So did that play a role, that kind of post-war energy?
Oh, absolutely. The world had seen the power of technology for both good and bad, of course.
Right.
And there was this feeling of possibility in the air, like a feeling that maybe, just maybe, AI could be part of building a brighter future.
Oh, that's interesting. So, what kind of AI were these folks like dreaming up at Dartmouth? What did they think AI would look like?
So the main focus back then was on something called symbolic AI.
Symbolic AI.
And basically, it's all about using symbols and logic to mimic human reasoning. You can think of it like solving one of those complex logic puzzles.
Okay.
You're breaking down knowledge into symbols, and then you manipulate those symbols according to specific rules.
Interesting. So this like symbolic AI approach, did it actually lead to anything? Like any real world results?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. There were some early wins. Remember those chess playing programs that were starting to like beat human players?
Oh, yeah, I do. That was a big deal.
Huge. Right. It really felt like, science fiction coming to life. Like we were on the fast track to true human-level intelligence.
Yeah, totally. So symbolic AI is having its moment in the sun.
Right.
And then come the expert systems. What was the big idea behind those?
So imagine having access to like this specialized knowledge, like from a doctor or a financial advisor.
Okay.
But it's all in a computer program. That's what they were going for. Capturing the knowledge of like human experts in specific fields like medicine or finance.
That's really interesting. So they're trying to like bottle up human expertise and put it into a computer program?
Exactly.
That sounds amazing, like in theory, but did it actually work, in practice?
Well, yeah. I mean, they did find applications like in medicine, finance, even engineering.
Yeah.
Helping with diagnosis or like complex calculations.
So it wasn't all just hype?
Not at all.
Okay, that's good to know.
But there were some limitations. They were really rigid. They could only handle situations that fit within their pre-programmed knowledge.
Oh, so if your problem didn't like fit neatly into the rules, the expert system was basically stumped.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
They couldn't learn from new data or adapt to new situations. And that's where AI kind of hit a wall. It became clear that true intelligence, it involved way more than just following a set of rules.
That makes sense. It's like you can't just give someone a rule book for riding a bike and expect them to just like take off. You need practice, you need experience, you need to adapt to like the terrain and everything.
Exactly. And that realization led to a major shift in AI, the rise of machine learning.
Ooh, okay. This is where things get really interesting for me, I think.
It is exciting.
Instead of programming all the rules, we start teaching machines to, like, learn on their own.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing. So how did that even happen?
Well, this shift, it came from the growing understanding that the human brain, well, doesn't work like a traditional computer program.
Right, right.
It's more about patterns and connections and, learning from experience.
So that's where the idea of a neural network comes in, right?
Yes.
Inspired by the human brain itself. Tell me more about how those work. Like, what is a neural network?
Okay, so imagine a vast network of these interconnected nodes. Each one is kind of like this tiny processing unit. Okay. And these nodes, they're organized into layers.
Oh, layers.
And the connections between them, they have something called weights. And these weights determine how signals flow through the network.
Okay, so I'm picturing like this giant web of connections, kind of like a map of the brain.
Yeah.
But how does the learning actually happen in this neural network?
Okay, so that's where this amazing thing called backpropagation comes in. So imagine the AI, it makes a prediction, right?
Okay.
And then it compares that prediction to like the actual outcome. And backpropagation, it's like this internal feedback loop. It adjusts those weights, the weights of the connections, based on the error.
Oh, okay. So it's like the AI is constantly tweaking and refining itself, getting better over time.
Exactly.
Kind of like when we practice a skill, we get better and better at it.
Right. And this whole ability to learn from data, I mean, it was a total game changer.
Yeah.
AI systems could suddenly adapt and improve without having to be explicitly programmed for, every possible scenario.
Okay, that's incredible. So we've got neural networks, they're learning from data. But something tells me we're not done with this whole AI evolution yet, are we?
Oh, not even close.
Yeah.
Now the stage is set for the rise of deep learning.
Deep learning. All right, what's that?
So think of it like neural networks, but on steroids. We're talking multiple layers now, processing massive, and I mean massive amounts of information.
Okay.
Extracting incredibly complex patterns.
Wow. Okay, I'm sensing another big leap forward here.
It was a huge one.
And I'm guessing this lines up with, like, the explosion of computing power, right? And the availability of, like, these huge data sets in the early 2000s.
We got it. It was like all the pieces fell into place at the perfect time.
Wow.
Powerful GPUs, originally designed for, computer graphics. Turned out they were perfect for training these massive neural networks. And at the same time, we were just generating and collecting data, like at a crazy rate.
It's like a perfect storm for AI to take this giant leap forward. And this deep learning, this is behind like so much of the AI that we use every day, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Think about it. Voice assistants like Siri and Alexa.
Oh, yeah.
Those eerily accurate recommendations, on Netflix or Spotify.
Yeah.
Even medical imaging that can now, like, spot diseases earlier than ever.
Oh, wow.
Deep learning is really the engine driving it all.
It's everywhere. So deep learning takes AI to a whole new level. But wait, there's more. I mean, the evolution continues, right?
Oh, for sure.
It's time to talk about transformers and why they're considered this, like, total game changer. But before we do that, we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back to unpack the magic of transformers and what they mean for the future of AI. Stay tuned. Okay, so we're back, and we are ready to tackle these transformers, this whole transformer revolution. But first, I gotta know, like, what makes them so different from, like, the deep learning systems we were just talking about?
Right. Well, it's not just a minor upgrade.
I didn't think so.
It really is a whole new way for AI to understand language.
Oh, wow. Okay, so tell me more. What's the secret sauce?
So transformers, they rely on this mechanism called self-attention.
Self-attention, okay.
Yeah, and what that means is they can analyze all parts of a sentence simultaneously.
At the same time.
At the same time, to really grasp the meaning, the context.
Oh, wow. So it's not like, reading a sentence word by word, like in a line.
Exactly. It's not linear. It's more like how we as humans understand language. We get the whole picture at once.
That's so cool. And this self-attention thing, it's got to be, like, super powerful.
Oh, it is. The results have been really remarkable.
Okay, so give me some examples. What can these transformer-powered AI systems do that was, like, basically impossible before?
Well, one of the most impressive things is translation.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about AI that can translate languages with nuance and accuracy that honestly rivals human translators.
Really? That's amazing.
It's crazy. Like capturing idioms, cultural subtleties, stuff that used to be like really tough for machines to get right.
Yeah. And I've even heard of AI writing poetry now, like actually good poetry, not just rhyming words,
Yeah.
conveying emotion and imagery and everything. Is that even possible?
It is, and it's all thanks to this ability, that the transformer has to capture those subtleties of language.
Hmm.
It's not just about grammar and syntax anymore. It's about style, tone, even creativity.
That's wild. So, like, could you give an AI, like, a few lines of a poem and it could, like, continue it in the same style?
Exactly. Capturing the rhythm, the emotional tone, everything. It's pretty astonishing.
I mean, this is, like, the future is now territory, for
Yeah.
sure. Okay, so if AI can write poems, translate languages, hold realistic conversations,
Hmm.
I mean, does that mean it's truly intelligent? Or is it something else entirely?
Ooh, that is the big question.
Yeah,
It's something that, like, philosophers and scientists are still debating.
I bet.
Transformers have really blurred the lines between what we thought was, like, uniquely human and what machines can do.
Yeah.
It really challenges our definition of intelligence itself.
It's both exciting and, like, a little unnerving, to be honest.
I agree.
But here's something we can't ignore, right? As AI gets more and more powerful,
Hmm.
what about the implications, like the ethical stuff?
You're absolutely right. The ethical dimension of AI, it's become just as important as the technology itself.
Absolutely.
You can't separate the two.
Yeah.
As these systems get more sophisticated, we have to be really careful to make sure they're developed and used responsibly.
Okay, so let's talk about that. I mean, what are some of the key things we need to consider as we, like, navigate this new era of, like, really powerful AI?
Well, I think one crucial thing is to make sure that AI is used to benefit society as a whole
Yeah.
and not just, a select few. We have to think about, who has access to these technologies, how they're being used.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like with any powerful tool, right?
Hmm.
It can be used for good or for bad, depending on the intentions of the person who's using it.
Exactly. We can't just sit back and let things happen. We need to be really proactive in shaping the future of AI to make sure that it aligns with our values and goals as well as a society.
Totally. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, from Turing's early vision to, like, the crazy capabilities of modern AI. As we wrap up this deep dive, I mean, what's the one thing you want our listeners to remember?
I think the most important thing is to approach AI with a sense of curiosity and wonder, but also with, like, a critical eye. These technologies have the potential to completely transform our world in so many ways, positive and negative. And it's really up to all of us to engage in informed discussions, ask those tough questions, and work together to shape a future where AI is truly used for the benefit of, all of humanity.
That's a great point. So on that note, this is where we have to say goodbye for today. But of course, this is only the beginning of the conversation.
Oh, yeah.
The world of AI is huge and always changing, so keep exploring, keep learning, and who knows, maybe you'll be the one to make the next big breakthrough in this field. Until next time, fellow deep divers. All right, so welcome back, everybody. We've really gone deep, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
From the, theoretical, like, the foundations of AI all the way to, well, I mean, algorithms are, like, writing poetry now and translating languages. It's crazy. Like, with incredible accuracy. It's been, wow, what a journey.
It really shows how far things have come in, like, such a short time, really. And it doesn't look like it's slowing down anytime soon.
That's what's so exciting and honestly a bit mind-boggling, but let's, bring it back to, like, the core of this whole deep dive. What does this all actually mean for us, for humans, As AI gets more and more, I don't know, sophisticated,
Yeah.
it's like it's making us, like, rethink what intelligence even means.
That's exactly it. We're at this point now where AI can learn from data, solve all these complex problems,
Yeah.
even be creative
Yeah.
in ways, we never thought possible.
Yeah.
So it really begs the question, what's the difference, really, between human intelligence and what we're seeing from these, really advanced AI systems?
Yeah.
Is there something, like, inherently different, something that machines just can't, replicate, no matter how advanced they get?
Whoa. That is a deep question. And I think it's one that, honestly, like, each of us is going to have to, like, really ponder as AI continues to, evolve.
Yeah.
And become more, like, woven into our lives.
Yeah, absolutely. There are no easy answers here. And this debate is probably going to continue for a long time.
I think
But that's part of what makes this whole field so fascinating.
totally.
It's not just about the tech itself. It's about those deeper questions about, the nature of intelligence, consciousness, and, what it means to be human.
So for our listeners out there who are probably, like, buzzing right now with all this AI knowledge.
I hope so.
What's, like, the one thing you really want them to take away from this whole deep dive?
Stay curious. The world of AI, I mean, it's constantly changing, and it's really up to all of us to, to engage with it thoughtfully. Read about it, talk about it. Don't be afraid to, like, ask those hard questions.
Yeah.
We're all part of shaping the future of AI. And that future, it depends on our choices, our actions, all of us.
So true. Well, on that note, we've reached the end of our AI adventure. For today, at least. But this is just the beginning. The world of AI is huge. It's constantly evolving. It's full of possibilities and, of course, challenges too. So keep exploring, keep learning. And hey, who knows? Maybe ULL be the one to make the next big breakthrough in this incredible field. Until next time, deep dive.